red with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase double U's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase double U's. Now what I do? Lace up the.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. We are moments away from what should be an excellent matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the Baltimore Ravens. With that, let's get up to M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. There to call all the action. We welcome in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, the rain is falling, the fans are soaked, but here's the bottom line. We've got football at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in... Evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Baltimore Ravens. It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of Michigan State. The former Spartan, it's Kirk Cousins.
And I'll bet right now it's just one thought in his mind.
Win the game, yeah.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He played pretty well. I mean, he didn't turn over the ball in terms of interceptions,
no,
right?
2 touchdown passes last week.
2 touchdown passes, but when your team doesn't win, that's just hollow. And the best quarterbacks don't care about anything but whether or not their team won.
First carry now for Alexander Madison. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On second and 11 now. Cousins. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
It was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Not a productive opening drive, 3 and out, and more struggles for a team really that hasn't won a game in a long time.
It can be really discouraging for everyone else on the team, especially the guys on the other side of the ball that have to trot out there and see a little more futility in this losing streak. So I know coaches who look at these situations and say to themselves, let's be aggressive. Let's go for it right here and try and turn our fortune around.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 27.
Watch twins! Watch twins!
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
I'm going to hit you all.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Throwing is Jackson. He's going deep for Brown. He's got a man complete. And he is finally out of bounds across midfield at the 40-yard line.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pumps from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. Here's a run on first down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard. 2nd and 11. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or two. On 2nd down, it's Fisher. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. From the gun, Jackson. It's brought in here by Willie Snead. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did. Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. It makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Let's go, defense. Let's go.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there. 7th play of the drive upcoming here on 3rd and 6. To throw is Jackson. He gets it to Brown, complete. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll try to run with Carson. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there, and it's going to set up 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. No score after 1 on EA Sports. 2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. They'll try to run this one in. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's 3rd down now.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness. Think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defense...
And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Willie Snead hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Justin Tucker for the extra point.
An excellent, long, sustained offensive drive. And now they can look across the field and see a defense that looks a little bit beaten down. Right now, as an offensive coordinator, you're thinking to yourself, can I dial up the knockout punch?
So that one a long 11-play drive. And it's capped off with a Ravens touchdown. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, But the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early. But there's that special one there. I say they go get him.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
On first down. Boom. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. No gain on the play there. Second down. On second down now, Sanford. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And that will be incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the Ravens will get it. 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right. At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. He'll pick up another first down with that run.
Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Throwing on 2nd and 8, Jackson.
Well, touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
The Ravens on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This is 3rd and 8. Jackson. It's complete to Snead. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first. 2 minutes on the clock. Second quarter. 7-0 ball game. We'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They go play action here on first down. He's going deep. That's caught at the 25. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown, his 19th touchdown now of the season as the Ravens push further out in front. Even though he was forced from the pocket, still able to adjust, make the long throw, and it ends with a really big touchdown.
Yeah, moving to his left. The key to everything when they're moving outside of the pocket, doesn't matter which side, making sure those shoulders get around and you get back square so you get everything on the throw and create the big play we just saw there downfield.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And now out comes Minnesota. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. A first down throw for Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings. To throw is Cousins. Open man. Once again, it's Thielen. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. First red zone chance now for the Vikings. 1st and 10 at the 19. They'll throw again. Cousins. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
To throw again on 2nd down. Cousins. And his throw is incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, but now it'll be 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range, so now you don't take any unnecessary...
And Rudolph has got it. The big tight end for a Viking touchdown. Kyle Rudolph. His 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson rolling to his left. Now he'll let it go on the run. Deep left side. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Here's Jackson. Gonna throw again. Now they go screen. It's complete. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the gun, it's Jackson. Space to maneuver at the 40. And he's got his man, Marquise Brown. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. Jackson now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's 1st down. Play action. Now Jackson on the move to his left. He's going deep. It's caught inside the 25. A big play there just before halftime. 51 yards.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket, because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
Jackson now. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A great play there, as the first half is winding down, as the Ravens push further out in front. The touchdown all set up by the big play one snap before, but they finish it off here with a shorter completion, this time for the score.
Now, I like how they stuck with what got them there, right? The big pass play, got the momentum going, right? That's, you create it with a play like that, and you come right back with another pass play to finalize things off.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with a field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Back-to-back good plays have them on an abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half.
Come on now, let's go!
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustmts that might be made defensively. They'll keep it on the ground. Fisher. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down.
Harrison Smith on the tackle. That's a gain of 3. Watch the shit. Watch the shit.
On third down, Fisher. And he lost the football.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base.
Now Carson fumbles the football, but it looked like a Raven was able to get in there, and they will indeed keep the possession. And now Jackson will look to throw it. And his throw here is incomplete. Marquise Brown was the intended target, and it's third down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Forced out to his left. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. Lamar Jackson, such a threat with those legs, able to improvise and get the first. Now Jackson on first down, being chased out left. Now he'll pull it down. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
On second down, it's Fisher. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 29-yard line. They'll run on first down. Fisher stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
From the 24, Jackson, and an alley to run.
Well, it looked like a quick hitter, a 3-step drop, but when it's not there, what do? He elects to try and escape through the massive bodies up the middle, and he does so and picks up positive yardage.
And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. They'll keep it on the ground. Fisher, and he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. Back now in Baltimore. It's the Ravens in control of the football. They've also got the lead as we get set for the fourth. So another third down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
And he will force his way into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A great effort there with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year as the Ravens push further out in front.
And while no one on the offensive line will get the 6 points next to their name, they should be credited with this one. Tremendous blocking to get the runner into the end zone.
The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone.
Let's go, let's go.
The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just let him bleed the game out that way.
This is Johnson. He's got it. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that, because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long? Cousins looking for his running back, and he's got him.
Holding. Offense.
So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Here comes the Raven offense now, ready for another possession. They built up that lead at intermission, and they're just continuing to pour it on right now, aren't they?
Locked into a really good groove right now. I don't know if it's just the play calling. I know the execution is really, really sharp right now, and all the playmakers are doing exactly what you expect. They're making plays, and right now, defense has no answer and no chance of catching up.
Yeah, they're just looking to turn anywhere for a stop defensively. And he loses the football a second time, but I think the ball's out, and this belongs to the Vikings.
Well, maybe it hasn't exactly been a Rembrandt, but they've been mistake-free to this point and finally cough it up. I don't think it's going to cost them the game. They should be fine. But, boy, they're going to hate that, going back and watching tape and being able to say we were that close to achieving our goal of 0 turnovers during the game.
A little blemish, but as you say, still comfortably in command. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Now Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. 1st down. Here's Cousins. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 32. And he will take this all the way down to the 38-yard line. Well, I get it, Charles. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Down big. They just sent their receivers out, let it fly. But the defense, they were ready.
Yeah, and there aren't too many people left in this stadium that couldn't see that coming. But that's not a major criticism at all because you had to try it. What you're hoping for is one of your athletes out-athletes everyone else and makes a dramatic play.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Mike, 55. Right there in the middle. 55. It's a party now.
They go play action now. Jackson. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Hollywood Brown, the intended receiver. And that'll make it 3rd down.
Well, the secondary's really struggled today, but that's a little bit of a measure of revenge, isn't it? And they just followed the basic rules. See ball, knock ball away. Turned into a nice play.
The Ravens on 3rd down. How about this stat? A perfect 9 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
Oh, boy, I know you felt that one. I know you felt that one.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Jackson, he'll let this go for the end zone. And this is going to be incomplete. John Harbaugh not afraid to go for it this time. Doesn't work out. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Now on 2nd and 13, Cousins. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Draw play, Madison. And a nice job there defensively. They get him to the ground short of the first, right around the 42. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it prior to what will be an important 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They're going for it. Here's Madison. And he is not going anywhere. They stop it for no gain. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Ravens are going to get the football back. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Out to his left. He's going deep for Brown. It's caught inside the 25. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. A gain of 37. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles. It certainly has had it.
Good work, boy. Let's go. Let's go. Ready? Check 52. First and 10 at the 21-yard line.
Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. They'll roll him out right. And he's going to keep it here. Able to power through. They'll get to him just inside the 15-yard line. And even after that fancy footwork we saw, a good job defensively to recover.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
They shakes him off. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Willie Snead with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Ravens have used the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. They go play action. Cousins. He's going to let it fly. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When you go to the backup, let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Ravens are victorious here as we say so long from Baltimore.